Hey guys, this is Peter Mullen, and today I am going to be making a video based on the things that I love, based on classics, based on each letter in the alphabet. Now, before I start, these are just my personal opinions, so if you disagree, I am okay with that. But please, no mean or rude comments, please. Also, I won't be including family, friends, or songs, so you won't see songs like Christmas Cookies, I Will Go Sailing No More, or Circle of Life on the list. So, let's get started with the list, shall we? So, we are going to start with the letter A, and there were a lot of classics that I love that begin with A. We have Ahmed Khan, who I feel is one of the best home run hitters in the backyard sports games. We have the Alpha and Omega movies. We have Auntie Anne's and the continent of Africa. We also have Audi Field and Al from Paw Patrol. Another A that I have on my list is the alphabet because I grew up loving it and I still love it to this day. We also have Dr. Annabelle from Super Duper Bunny League. We also have alphabet books, alphabet legends, autism, autism acceptance month. But the A that I'm going with is my autism. I grew up having autism and I always embrace it every day, through good times and bad. Autism is something that is very important to me, and I am very proud of it. Next is the letter B, and there were a ton of classics on my list that begin with B. We have Bex from Super Duper Bunny League. We also have the Bowie Bay Sox, the Baltimore Brigade. We have Brownies, which are so good. We have Breads Unlimited, which is a great bakery. Speaking of bakeries, we have, bakeries. Baking and bakers. Also, we have Best Summer Ever, which is the best movie that Zeno Mountain Farm has made. We have Baltimore, Maryland, and especially Brown and the color blue. We have Becky Lee, even though she did play too passive alongside Yule in the Cook Islands. But the B that I'm going with for top classic is Bethesda, Maryland. I love going to Bethesda because it is part of my teenhood, and I love that it has great stores. That's it for B. Now for the letter C, because there are a lot of things I have that are classics that do begin with C. We have the Washington Capitals, who are my favorite hockey team, and the Washington Commanders, who are my favorite football team. I also have candy and chocolate. Cats made the cut because I love cats. We also have Colleen Haskell because she played very good in Survivor Borneo. We also have the Chicago Cubs, Cursing, and Children. Cupcakes, Cake, and Chase from Paw Patrol are on my list as well. Christian Hubicki is on my list because he played very impressively on Survivor. Suri Fields is on my list too because of her game on Survivor. We have Cookies, Coral from Paw Patrol, and Coco, the movie. But the C that is the biggest classic is, chocolate chip cookies. I grew up eating chocolate chip cookies, and they, in my opinion, are the best cookie ever. I love eating the dough and cookies, plus I also love to buy them from the store. Next is the letter D, and trust me, there are a lot of things that begin with the letter D that are classics. We have donuts and donut shops. We also have Dolly Parton and the DC Defenders. We have Duchess from the Aristocats and Derek from Super Duper Bunny League. We also have Dalmatian characters from 101 Dalmatian Street as well, like Doug, Delilah, Dizzy, Dee Dee, Dawkins, and Diesel. We also have Da Vinci and Delgado. We have Dante and Deepak. We also have Dolly because of her outgoing personality. We also have Dorothy Dalmatian because she is so cute. But the D that I am choosing for the top classic is Dylan Dalmatian. The reason is because he may be dull at times, but he is also very brave. For example, he flew his tent through a violent storm to save his parents, his sister, and her boyfriend. I also love how much of a good brother he is. Next is the letter E, and there were definitely a lot of stuff that begin with E that were classics. We have the Earth, which I am proud to have as our planet. We have Emily Flippen, who I felt played a great game. We have Eric Reichenbach, who was one of my favorite players on Survivor. We have England and English. We also have the Philadelphia Eagles because they have Donovan McNabb and Javon Curse on the team. We also have Everest and Ella from Paw Patrol, who are amazing characters. We have eating, but the E that I have for the top is epilepsy awareness. The reason I chose epilepsy awareness is because I have epilepsy and I have seizures sometimes. This is not something to joke about, and I don't want anybody to laugh about this. I want everybody to be aware about how epilepsy can affect families. Next is the letter F, and there were a lot of classics that, in my opinion, began with F. For example, we have Francesca Hogi. Despite being a first boot twice, she was a great player in my heart. We have Five Guys, which is my favorite burger joint. Also, there's Fabio Berza, who won Survivor Nicaragua. I also have Florida and France. We have the month of February. Fridays are also on my list. We also have my friends and friendship. I also love food. But the F that I am going with is my family. I love my family because they are all wonderful. I also love spending time with them and allowing it to grow. Now for the letter G, and trust me, I have a load of stuff that begin with G that I would consider classics. We have gingerbread for being a great Christmas treat. We have games because they are fun to play. Georgia is also a great state. We also have Garth from Alpha and Omega. We also have Grandpa Grovel from Rubble and Crew because he is a great father figure to the pups. We also have G Wiz, who I would consider a great mascot for the Washington Wizards. But the G that I'm going with here is Guapos. I love Guapos because this is a great Mexican restaurant in the DMV area, and I love going there. The atmosphere is awesome, and I really love the food. Next is the letter H, and there were a lot of stuff that I would consider classics that I love that begin with H. We have Halloween, which I take very seriously. We have Hairspray, both the movie and musical, which I consider an awesome masterpiece. Hamburgers and hot dogs are pretty good. Horses are awesome animals. We have Hershey, Pennsylvania, Hershey Drops, and Hershey Kisses. But the H that I choose to go with is Hershey Bars. I love Hershey Bars because they are my childhood. Plus, I love the taste of the chocolate. However, I prefer milk chocolate ones better. Now for the letter I, and not many things begin with I that I could consider classics, but we did have Illinois. We also have Ichiro, who played great baseball for the Seattle Mariners, New York Yankees, and the Miami Marlins. I also have Imagination. However, if there is one I that I want to go with, it is ice cream. I love ice cream because it is so good. Plus, I love vanilla and chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream the best. Next is the letter J, and there were a lot of stuff that began with J that were classics to me. We have Jeopardy, which is a great game show. We also have Jumanji 2, Welcome to the Jungle, and Jumanji 3, The Next Level. We also have Javon Curse, who played for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tennessee Titans. John Cody made the cut, and so did John Cochran because of their games on Survivor. Julia Carter also played a solid game in Survivor Edge of Extinction. We have Jeff Probst, the host of Survivor, and the month of June. But the J that I'm going with is my birthday, June 29th. I love this day because, well, it's my birthday. I guess I love my birthday because I am excited about cake, presents, and doing whatever I want. Next is the letter K, and there were not many classics that began with the letter K. But we did have kiwi, which is a delicious fruit. We have Kate from Alpha and Omega, who is my favorite character in that series. Kickball is one of my favorite games that I used to play in school. Kit Kats made the cut because they are one of my favorite candy. Kensington, Maryland is on the list because I grew up there. But the K that I'm choosing for the top is Kenny Kawaguchi. I chose Kenny because he proves that even though he is in a wheelchair, he is still tough and can play sports. I love how cool he is in the game. And now for the letter L. And there were a lot of classics that began with L. We have lions that are considered my favorite wild animals. We have The Lion King and The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, which are very good movies. We have lacrosse, which is a great sport, and it's very popular in the state of Maryland. We have Lady and the Tramp and Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure, in which I consider great movies. We also have Liberty from Paw Patrol, because she is a great character in my eyes. But the L that I'm going with is Lady from Lady and the Tramp. I love Lady because she is the sweetest character in Disney history, and that's why I love her. Plus, I love Cocker Spaniels. I also love her relationship with Tramp and how she developed to being a responsible adult. Now for the letter M, and there were a lot of stuff that I consider classics that do begin with M. We have Mitty from Super Duper Bunny League. There's Marshall from Paw Patrol, who's a great firefighter pup. We also have Mother's Day and muffins that I consider very delicious. Mike Piazza is a player that made the cut because he really rocks the baseball world with his hits. We have the Maryland Terps, which are my favorite college team. However, the M that I choose for the top is Maryland. Maryland is where I live in real life, and I am proud to call this state home. I love living close to the capital and have so many great teams to root for. I also love Maryland because of the flag. God bless Maryland. Yeah, I could have chosen Mix or Motor from Rubble and Crew, but Maryland is just a great state and I love it here. Next is the letter N, and I have a lot of stuff that begin with N that are classics. We have Nick Wilde from Zootopia, as he is a great character. We have Noah's Ark and the Nativity, as they are great biblical stories. New York City is a great city that I consider a classic along with the state of New York. I also have Nadia and Natalie Anderson, as they did awesome on The Amazing Race and Survivor. There's Nats Park, which is home to the Washington Nationals, which I just said the answer. The N that I am going with is, well, the Washington Nationals. I love this team because I am from the DC area, and I also love that they won the World Series in 2019. It was worth the wait for me. Next is the letter O, and we have a lot of classics that I have that begin with the letter O. We have Owen Knight because he played an impressive game in Survivor 43. We have the Oklahoma Sooners and the state of Oklahoma. I also have orange because it's a very nice color and it's my favorite color. Oatmeal cookies made the cut, even though I don't think they are better than chocolate chip cookies. And I stand by that opinion. We have October because that's Halloween season, but the O that I choose is the Baltimore Orioles. I love the O's because I live in Maryland and the Orioles are the pride of Maryland. Plus, the Orioles are one of my favorite baseball teams. Yeah, I could have chosen O Shiitake Mushrooms, the YouTube channel, but I think the Orioles are a better O. Next is the letter P, and there were a lot of classics that begin with the letter P. We have pizza, we have popcorn, and we have pancakes. We also have Paw Patrol, because that's my favorite cartoon. We have pecan twirls, aka Happies. We also have parties, even though they can be loud sometimes. Puppies are cute as well. And we also have Peter's World Adventure, which is the game I made up, inspired by Survivor. But the P that I am going with is the obvious choice. It's me, Peter Mullen. I mean, come on, you have to love yourself because if you don't have love for yourself, people won't love you. Besides, I have done so many awesome stuff like make many YouTube videos and I also have 2 jobs. I am proud to be myself. Now for the letter Q, and there weren't many classics that began with Q. I mean, we have Quasimodo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, who is an awesome character. We have Queso, but the Q that I am choosing is the Queen's Corgi. I love this movie because I love the relationship between Rex and Wanda. Plus, the teamwork the dogs used to put out the fire at Buckinghamshire Palace is really awesome. Next is the letter R, and there were a lot of stuff I considered classics that began with the letter R. We had Rupert Boneham, who played a great game on Survivor and The Amazing Race. We have Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, which is a great candy. Randy Johnson made the cut because he's a great pitcher. We also have Rocky and Rubble from Paw Patrol. Rubble and Crew is a great show. We also have Roxy from Paw Patrol. We have the Baltimore Ravens, but the R that I am choosing is Ronnie Dobbs. Ronnie is my favorite backyard sports character because he is so relatable to me. I have always wanted to prove people wrong because of my autism, but sometimes people can put me down. That's why I like Ronnie as a character. I always pick Ronnie first in the backyard sports games because of those reasons over Pablo Sanchez. Sorry, Pablo fans. Now for the letter S, and there were a lot of stuff I considered classics that began with the letter S. I have Shining Armor from My Little Pony, who I considered a great character. We have Sammy Sosa, who played great baseball for the Chicago Cubs, Baltimore Orioles, and the Texas Rangers. We have The Snowman, which is one of my childhood movies. We have Summer and we have Starlight Glimmer, despite her doing awful stuff in the beginning. She did redeem herself. Also, we have Handsome Steve and Stumpy from Super Duper Bunny League. Plus, Super Duper Bunny League made the cut. We have Stack 'em High in the Outer Banks. Sky from Paw Patrol made the cut because she is a cute puppy. We also have Survivor because it is a great reality show. But the S that I am choosing is Silver Spring, Maryland. I love Silver Spring because I was born there in real life. I also love shopping there as well. Yeah, I could have chosen my subscribers because I am grateful for you guys, but Silver Spring is just a great place. Next is the letter T, and there were a load of things that I could consider classics that begin with T. I have Tony Del Vecchio from the Backyard Sports series. We have Thanksgiving, which is a great holiday. We have teddy bears, because I love teddy bears. I also have Tuck and Tracker, both from Paw Patrol. Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2 made the cut, but the T that I am going with is Twilight Sparkle. I love Twilight Sparkle because she is the main character of my favorite show of all time, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I also love that she developed from being uninterested in making friends to wanting to keep her friends in the series finale. Next is the letter U, and trust me, not many things that I considered classics began with U. I did have Utah because it's a good state, great state. I have the UCLA Bruins, but the U that I'm choosing is, well, DC United. I chose DC United because they are my favorite soccer team, and they are very awesome. I am sorry if I don't have many picks for you, but not many classics began with you. Next is the letter V, and there were a bunch of good stuff that began with V that were classics. I have vanilla and anything made with vanilla. We have Vicky Kawaguchi from the Backyard Sports series because she is the most coordinated players in the game. We have Valentine's Day and Valentine's because I love Valentine's Day. But the V I am choosing is the Washington Valor. The Washington Valor were an indoor football team and I loved them so much. They got dismantled in 2020, but I will always have good memories of them. Yeah, I could have chosen my videos, but the Washington Valor are the top V in my eyes. Now for the letter W, and there were a lot of classics that began with the letter W for me. We have the Washington Wizards, I have Wheeler from Rubble and Crew, and Wanda from the Queen's Corgi. I also have Woody from Toy Story because he has a heart of gold for his friends and goes to infinity and beyond. But the W that I'm choosing for is the no-brainer. It's Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. I know there are a lot of bad things happening there right now, but I love D.C. because it is close to Maryland and I love being loyal to my teams. Next is the letter X, and there was only one thing that was a classic that began with X. That thing was Xfinity Center. Xfinity Center is the arena where the Maryland Terps basketball teams play, and I love this arena because it has great food to eat and good seats to watch the games. Next is the letter Y, and there were a lot of classics on this list that begin with Y. There was Yul Kwan because of his alliance with Becky in the Cook Islands. Plus, he did play a great game in Winners at War. We have the color yellow because it mixes with red to make orange. We have Yao Ming, who is a great basketball player for the Houston Rockets. But the Y that I'm choosing is YouTube. YouTube is one of the reasons why I love the internet these days. I love making videos on this site and I love making playlists on here, despite the algorithms on here. And finally, we reached the last letter of the alphabet, the letter Z. Now we have a lot of classics that I have that do start with Z. We have Zuma from Paw Patrol, who is an awesome pup. We have Zootopia and Zootopia 2 that are wonderful movies. We have the number 0 because it may represent nothing alone, but can represent other numbers with different numbers. We have Zimbabwe, and we have Zach Thornton, who was a good goalie for the Chicago Fire. But the Z that I'm choosing is the obvious choice. It's Zeno Mountain Farm in Vermont. I mean, come on, it's my home away from home, and I'm very happy to have so many friends who care about me. That's my classic love from A to Z. So, bye.